All right, good morning, everybody. It is May 20th, 2021, the perfect weather and date to start another installment of Autodesk Virtual Academy. Welcome, everybody. Great to be back here. We have a very special workflow and topic here for you all today. My name is Adam Evangelista. I'll be your host here today. I also work as a customer success manager here at KETIV Technologies. I'm joined by Brian, our longtime friend and compatriot over here. Brian, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself here, buddy?
Yeah, thank you, Adam. I am also a customer success manager. You might have seen me on a lot of these, and also our Fusion 360 AVAs on Fridays as well. I have a couple of accounts where I want to make sure that our customers are utilizing the tools as efficiently as possible, and you have the best and most optimized workflows. This being one of them.
Brian is the perfect guy for this presentation. So I'm really glad that we were able to get him for this week, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about here today. First and foremost, this is a kind of new format that we're testing out over here. If you notice on the bottom right side of the screen, it says Mini. This is going to be something we're calling Autodesk Virtual Academy Mini. So we're kind of doing some experimentation on our end. We want to try out what these kind of shorter sessions are going to be like. So we're not going to take the full hour this week. We're going to specifically try to be, a lot less than that. So I think we're going to be aiming for like sub 20 minutes hereabouts. But let us know if you like that. We want to, be as appealing as possible. This is for you guys, after all, for sharing information. So there will be a survey going out at the end of the session that, please be sure to fill out any kind of feedback that you may have. We're really curious to know like what kind of content you guys want and what format, what configuration. We're really here to serve you guys as best as possible. Okay. So if you have any feedback about that, please fill out the surveys at the end of this. Otherwise, this is a standard Zoom meeting. There is a Q&A, there is a chat that we'll be sending links in, and there'll even be some poll questions coming up here in a couple of slides. Okay. Did I miss anything here? I think we're looking pretty good. Okay. Whew, okay, I think that's all the announcements we have here so far. But man, Brian, I got to tell you, I'm really, really glad you're here, man. I've been feeling kind of down in the dumps,
Oh no! Here, let me go through the interoperability here, and then
Oh no,
hopefully
please.
that'll help pick you up.
Well, not the transition we planned, but yes. Yeah, I work a lot of Inventor myself, but you, like me, might be finding that you want to open up the kind of possibilities of Inventor, some other tool sets that are available, not just in Fusion 360, but perhaps in the whole collection and stuff like that. And so, Brian, I think you have a bit to tell us about that in that regard. So what do you got? What do you got for us today, man?
So we'll be diving into one of the new tools that Inventor has in 2022 specifically, where you're able to send part files over to Fusion 360.
Right on. All right, take it away, man. I'm going to
All
turn
right,
off my
thank you
camera.
very
Good
much.
luck.
All right, so just real quick of what we'll be going over. We'll be going over some of the problems that we've been hearing for customers, and some of the Inventor interoperability. We'll be able to solve some of those. I'll be showing a demonstration in the software of how it does and how it works, and we'll be doing a question and answers at the end. And there's the confused customer there. So a couple of problems that we are currently seeing today when sending parts from Inventor to Fusion. Whether you are design and engineering and trying to send that to manufacturing, you might be experiencing some out-of-date versions. You might not have version controls on the other end because you might be doing a pack and go. You might be just sending the part file by itself, and it's not associative. It's not referencing the Inventor file. And manufacturing might be creating the out-of-date version, and that's going to lose you some money for creating the wrong part. You might, this is another one I've also experienced from a lot of customers, is they need more of the advanced tools inside of Fusion 360, such as rendering, generative design. They might need to outsource some cloud resources, so they could offload it from their computer. So they don't need maybe a hefty as a computer to run a simulation or to render something overnight. And that exists in Fusion 360. And mind you, there is Fusion 360 is in the collection, the product design and manufacturing collection. So if you own the collection, you own Fusion 360. So this is available in your tool set, ready to be used in conjunction, in tandem with your Inventor. And another issue or problem, manufacturing might be at a different location altogether, maybe a different state, different city, or outside of your network, outside of your server, and you need to send files to them, for example. Or maybe you're sending this to a customer or contractor to be manufactured. So just how over to them will be another problem that we can start addressing today. And let's go ahead and dive into 2 poll questions here. Question number 1, and let me see if I can, or if Adam, you can help me out with setting out this poll question to everyone. Do you ever need to transfer files from Inventor to Fusion 360? So yes, I'm expecting it to not be as, I don't think a lot of customers will be answering yes to this. But I do think that this will be beneficial to a lot of you guys moving forward. It might be more beneficial than you think. So I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer that. And I'm not sure if it's going to ask the second question right away, or if we can see a result.
It's going to be piecewise. So let's take this up to 40 seconds over here. I think it's most of the people here. Nice enough for trends, at least 45. I'm going to end polling on this first question.
Right.
We can see here, do you ever need to transfer files from Inventor to Fusion? Some people, yes, mostly no, and some people no, but this would be beneficial to our workflow. So good mix over here for sure.
It's a good spread across the board. Okay, we see the results here on the screen. There. Yeah, that's kind of actually what I expected, because this is a very niche workflow. We just have to take that into consideration, but it can be very valuable for some of the advanced tools that we're talking about here. So okay, let's go ahead and move on to our second question here to kind of gauge the room. Do you use or plan to use any of the following? And these are some of the benefits that I was referring to.
I see. Give me a moment here.
It's sharing this poll results here.
I'm trying to get to the next question, but I don't think it's letting me go to the next question. All right. I don't think we have access to the second question here. So.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, the second question is to kind of gauge which beneficial tool or which advanced tool inside of Fusion would be beneficial to you guys. I just kind of wanted to gauge to see who's using CAM, who's using rendering, who's using it, or who's using neither of that. That was essentially the second question there. So no problem.
But what kind of extra functionalities are over there in Fusion that you're talking about over here?
Oh yeah, we'll actually be getting. Let me go ahead and address that on the slide after this. It'll help to kind of visualize and lay out the benefits that you'll be getting inside of Fusion.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Okay, so this Inventor to Fusion interoperability tool, what is it? It's the button, as you see there at the bottom of the screen, that allows you to easily send part files from Inventor Professional 2022 to Fusion 360. Why is it important? Because it enables a more reliable collaboration connection to whether it's your own computer Fusion 360, whether it's your manufacturing in-house, whether they're in a different state, as long as the person receiving it or whether it's yourself or someone else has Fusion 360, has Fusion Team set up, they can access the Inventor part file. And just a reminder, this is specifically for Inventor 2022. I know a lot of people aren't there yet, but just want to make sure you are aware that once that comes out, you will have access to this quick and easy button. And not only that, you'll be able to gain access to Fusion's entire suite of tools, which I have listed here. So whether you're trying to create this alien looking optimized design with generative design at the bottom right, whether you're sending it out to Fusion to take advantage of its advanced CAM tools. It's inheriting a lot of awesome and high-end manufacturing capabilities that you typically see in a feature cam or power mill. Some of Autodesk more high-end, more costly tools that can do more. Fusion is inheriting a lot of that functionality, as the machinists out there already know. So that's another reason you'd be sending it to Fusion 360. Rendering, I've had a lot of recent conversations on people sending it for rendering, because rendering seems to be better in Fusion, as well as some other simulation and outsourcing cloud capabilities as well. So I saw in the questions, there was a question regarding Vault, like an AnyCAD workflow with Vault in Fusion team. We do have a webinar, or it's an unlisted webinar that we did on that. But there's also an AnyCAD workflow, which has a bidirectional connection between Inventor and Fusion 360 or Fusion team that already exists prior to 2022 coming out. So this you can already have access to inside of an older version of Inventor. I don't remember exactly which version, but it is an older one than 22. But this does exist, and you can access a bidirectional workflow. We don't have the time to go over this specifically today, but if you are interested, let me know. This definitely exists, and I plan to show this in one of our future webinars. This requires a little bit more setup with the desktop connector middleman there, which is where the time restraint won't allow us. But today we are going into this workflow here, which it's a one directional workflow where it allows you to still reference the part file, but doesn't go back to the other route. So this is more intended for like I was mentioning, the manufacturing floor to receive your files. And notice there is no middleman in this workflow. This is this is built in to 2022 with the click of a button. You just need to make sure you have a Fusion Team Hub installed. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. I'm going to show you, one, what it takes to push a file from Inventor to Fusion, and two, one of the unique extensions in Fusion you can use, and one of the reasons why you would hop over there in the first place. So we need three things to make this work. We need, one, Inventor Pro 2022 installed, check. Two, we need a Fusion Team Hub set up. So I'm not going to show that, but all you need to do is install Fusion 360 and just it's going to ask you, what do you want to name your Fusion Team Hub? You just give it a name, and that's it. So that's done. Number two. And number three, we need an Inventor part file. Excuse me there. We need an Inventor part file. So as this does not work with assembly files, the AnyCAD workflow does. This one specifically is just for part files for now. I assume there will be creating something for assemblies and such in the future, but this is for part files to be like machined or rendered and things like that. So with those three checked, we can go ahead and go to our environments tab. And then we can notice there is the Send to Fusion button. It's going to pop up here on the right-hand side, a little introduction. We'll go ahead and hit continue. And I'm the design and engineering team. I just finished this part, and I'm going to send this over to manufacturing in a different state, for example. And they don't even need the collection actually to access this. They really just need access to that Fusion Team Hub. They just need Fusion 360 subscription, for example, if that's all they're doing. So at the top here, it allows us to choose between which team to send it to, or Team Hub. We can choose which project we want to send it to as well. And this is just folder structure. And then we can go ahead and give it a name. So I'll just name it something here. And I'll go ahead and just hit upload new file. This will be sending it to Fusion Team. Fusion Team is Fusion 360's backend data management, which is saved in the cloud. So whenever you save something in Fusion 360, the CAD CAM CAE software, it saves it. Not a lot of people know this, but it saves it, one, locally cached, but they also send another copy of it to the cloud. And that's what we just did here. We just sent this file to the Fusion team, which is it on the cloud. So now if we open up Fusion 360 and we go to our data panel here on the left-hand side, which is where we store the information, it's going to ask us to refresh this because we just added this file. And this is referencing the local cache as well as the cloud. And you can see here that the file just came in as what I named it 123 there. And I want to pause here real quick. I just wanted to differentiate. This is still referencing the Inventor part file because you can see the IPT orange symbol here, as opposed to if you were to come into Fusion and hit upload and try to point to that same part file, it's going to convert it into a Fusion 360 file type. And those are denoted by this symbol here, gray cube. And this gray cube is in a Fusion 360 file, Fusion part converted. So we don't want to upload it this way. We want to do it the way we just did. There's other methods as well, but I'm just going to show this one today. So let's go ahead and open this one up. So this is referencing the Inventor part file. So every time I make a change in Inventor and I update that file with the interoperability tool, it will notify us here. So there it is here. We can see at the design history that it's being linked. And we can go ahead and save this. And if we save this, this is going to be, let me just call it cam_2. This is going to be now converted to a Fusion file. But mind you, it is a Fusion file that's referencing this Inventor cam file. I hope that's not confusing to anyone, but as long as you see this here, we're still good. It's still referencing, we're fine. So let me go ahead and pose as the manufacturing, the machine shop that's going to create toolpads around this. And I'm the one in the different state. I'm at a different location. So I'm going to go ahead and go to manufacture. Here are all the other advanced tools I was referring to. And under manufacture, let's go ahead and do some simple setup for this part. Choose my axes, not the face. There we go. Set up my work coordinate system. Maybe do a facing operation. Got the facing operation. Maybe do some adaptive clearing. And then maybe one of the reasons why we wanted to send it to Fusion in the first place was so we can use some of the more advanced. Oh, let me go change that. And let me change this to inches as well. So we can use some of the more advanced features such as steep and shallow. Now, an Inventor cam is very capable of like regular 3-axis machining, but Fusion does have some extra extensions to it, like steep and shallow. Like this is a combination of the 3D contour tool and the scallop tool. You're able to add or take a look at your extensions and what else you have in addition to just the regular out-of-the-box cam packages with Fusion in these extensions here. So for example, I'm subscribed every month to the extensions here. And you can see I have access to things like 5-axis and collision avoidance. I have access to hole recognition, which is something you typically see in a feature cam, which is like more the high-end solution that I was referring to. You have access to the steep and shallow strategy that we're using right today. You can even delete toolpads manually by clicking on it with this manufacturing extension. So yeah, this would cost cloud credits at a monthly basis. So you just have to consider, is this something that's critical to your business? And if it is, then you should definitely subscribe to that. And if it's not, you don't have to. You can just use the out-of-the-box cam solution that's hugely capable. So I'm running the adaptive toolpath, and then let's go ahead and use our steep and shallow strategy while we're at it. All end mill. We'll choose this area to machine, and even a newer addition is the ability to avoid flat areas, so I don't have to cut this part of the model, even though, or because I'm already facing that off. And then it's going to go ahead and generate that for us here. So while this is generating, let's say we're the design and engineering team, and we say, oh, we actually messed up on the fillet. We actually need to make it a different size. Sorry, everyone in the machine shop. We need to make a change. So typically the workflow is, or let me go ahead and change that, and then I'll talk about it. So let me go ahead and go in here and just change this fillet from, if it actually had to be 1.25, for example. We would save that here on our end, and then we would just send it to Fusion again, quite simply. And let's go ahead and replace this part here and upload a new version. So yes, it's going to say upload a new version. So it's going to create version number 2 of this part rather than upload a new file. So just keep that in mind as long as you choose the same name. So it's going to go ahead and send that real quick to Fusion 360. And as I'm working here, as the machine shop is creating their toolpath, you see that Fusion is yelling at us in multiple different locations because of the change that has been made. So if we go ahead and hit refresher, we can see that we are referencing the IPT. Version number 2 just came in, and the change has been made. And before I go ahead and create this part and start manufacturing it and start wasting time and material, Fusion's going to stop us and tell us, hey, you need to make sure to update this. So we're going to go ahead and hit update model. And the this is one of the critical things about this, is you're able to just update this model inside of the manufacturing or the design workspace. And in the manufacturing workspace here, these toolpaths, this setup, all 4 of these don't have to be recreated. We just have to regenerate them. We don't have to choose the work coordinate system again. We don't have to choose the tools again. We don't have to choose the geometry again. We just need to hit Control G, and it will regenerate this for us with these. This one is giving us a warning here. Let me just, oh yeah, okay. All right, so yeah. So imagine if you had multiple different setups, you had the machine the backside of this, and that was setup number 2. You have more complicated toolpaths to create more finishes. It's just a lot of time saved, and you don't have to redo your work. So that's one of the huge differentiators between Fusion and some of the older CAD solutions or CAM solutions. So with that said, then we can go ahead and post this out, and then it could be machined. So that's essentially the workflow. Not something, not too crazy, but it's super powerful, and definitely can be helpful for a lot of people. Again, this can be used not only in the manufacturing realm, but there's also the rendering, generative design to optimize your designs and things like that. So I definitely would take this into consideration if you do own the collection. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint here. Perfect. And I do want to call out on tomorrow's Fusion Fridays. These are our once a month on Fridays AVAs, Autodesk Virtual Academies, that myself and my colleague Alex Alvarez does. We're actually having one tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Fusion 360 nesting, which is another manufacturing extension inside of Fusion 360. And yes, Fusion has nesting now, which is really awesome. So yeah, definitely check that out. Adam, if you don't mind posting that link to sign up for that, to get notifications for that in the chat room. I appreciate that. And then also there's another link more relevant to today's topic, which is about AnyCAD and importing files from other CAD systems into Inventor. So I definitely would read up on that. And I do plan to do a AnyCAD webinar, whether it's on here, whether it's on the productivity training sessions that we have as well. So definitely look out for that if you're interested in learning about AnyCAD.
All right, cool. Yep, links are posted there in chat.
All right. Like Adam said, this was a mini, so I think it's going to be a little bit shorter than our typical AVAs, but I hope this was helpful for some of you. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, yeah, and so we got a few questions here. I guess let's start with can you go from Fusion to CFD? Is there like a direct push from Fusion 360 to CFD?
I'm not too familiar with that workflow. I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay, no problem. We'll take a note of that, Kenneth. Thank you. And this is from Grant over here. He's asking about a bidirectional connection from Vault to Fusion 360. Right? Does that exist, and can it work with Vault Basic at the least? I know Fusion 360
to answer the
does.
first question, yes, that exists. We do have a productivity training, which is our like unlisted, catered to our support customers. So we have that video that I can go over with you, Grant. But that bidirectional workflow does exist, but it does not work with Basic. It's I believe it's Professional. I don't want to say it's Workgroup. I think it's Professional, the one that has it. But I don't believe it's with Basic.
Sounds good. Okay. So we'll follow up with you, Grant, to make sure you get some more information on that. All right, what else do we got going on over here? There's nothing in particular. Yeah, I'll pause a moment over here if you guys have any other questions, but otherwise that's about it. That's all we got for you guys. Thanks for bearing with us here with our new kind of format testing. And yeah, if you guys have any feedbacks, there are surveys going out after this, so just please let us know what you guys think, and we're happy to help out from there. All right. Anything else to add on the tail end here, Brian?
Nope. Just check out our Fusion Friday tomorrow on nesting and a lot of the other Fusion 360 webinars that we've done in the past as well. There, if you're into Fusion 360.
Sounds good.
All right.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close out over here. Thanks again for everyone for being on here. Thank you, Brian. We'll be back again next week. Yeah. Take care, everybody.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.